Welcome to my second motorcycle quiz video. In this one we're going to identify threats and hazards, but first let's define what I mean. Threats are simply events or objects that have a potential to cause a hazard. These are normally outside the motorcycle's path of travel and do not necessarily mean the motorcyclist has to take action, but some threats require you to take some precautionary action. Hazards are events or objects that demand a response to prevent a motorcycle crash. These are normally within the motorcycle's path of travel or about to be in the motorcycle's path of travel. Now these definitions are just how I think while scanning on the road. Now let me provide a few examples. The first example threat is a car stopped at an intersection, and you plan on riding your bike through that intersection. Even though the car might not be signaling, he might be making a left turn or headed straight. So it's a threat in that you don't have to actually take any active activities to avoid a crash, yet it could become a hazard. The second example threat is when you're in a 4-lane highway and the cars to your left are all slowing down, but you still have an open road ahead of you. One might think you might be able to just take off and head at the speed limit without any problems. However, one must remember that there are blind spots. These blind spots could be hiding cars that are trying to turn left. These left-turning vehicles might not actually see the motorcycle. So it's best to not exceed the speed limit or even go at the speed limit in certain situations and go below the speed limit with all these blind spots. This way, if a car does cut in front of you and become a hazard, you have plenty of room to stop. The second example hazard is something like a pothole or gravel or sand in the road. This hazard is easily avoided by changing your path of travel within the lane. I'm now going to show you live motorcycle clips. In each one, try to identify the threats and hazards. For each one you identify, give yourself 1 point. I recommend going to full screen for this so that you can see everything I see while I'm on my bike. This one was rather easy. It was raining, so the road was wet, and visibility can be hindered by having a wet face shield. I know most of you noticed the dinosaur. I counted that as a hazard. However, it was kind of a distraction. If you notice the sand, give yourself a point. If you notice that there's cars that could possibly go into my path of travel once I got the green light, give yourself another point. There were 2 hazards at this point, the gravel in the road and the truck in my intended path of travel. This point only had 1 hazard. There was a vehicle doing a U-turn in the middle of the intersection. This point had 1 threat. This car didn't have a turn signal on. However, it could have turned left had I proceeded through the intersection. I just watched it as I proceeded. Now this hazard is really hidden gravel on the rough road. The rough road itself isn't that big of a problem. However, gravel could be hidden where I can't easily see it. So how'd you score? Did you see anything I didn't see? Please mention it in the comments below. Also, if you want to make recommendations on the format of this video, I'd love to hear them. Thank you for watching.